Hello everyone. Today we will share some information about environmental performance evaluation. In this first part, we will share a few contents, such as why we implement environmental performance evaluation, the goal for environmental performance evaluation, what ISO 14031 is, objectives of ISO 14031, environmental objectives in an organization, organizational domains, and lastly, a short quiz. First of all, why do we need to implement environmental performance evaluation? Generally, environmental performance evaluation is done to assess environmental performance and monitor how well the environmental management systems works, including whether agreed upon goals and objectives are met. This performance evaluation mainly focuses on an internal management process that provides data to help management make decisions about an organization's environmental performance as a goal to be achieved. So, to achieve the goal of environmental performance evaluation, we need a tool to help us do the measurement. The tool is known as ISO 14031. ISO 14031 is the international standard that provides guidelines on the design and use of environmental performance evaluation within an organization. It involves the process of assisting a company in enhancing its environmental performance. Besides that, ISO 14031 also offers tools for identifying, measuring, evaluating, and communicating environmental performance using key performance indicators, KPIs, based on accurate and verifiable data. Next, we move to the objectives of ISO 14031. First, ISO 14031 identifies past and present environments and can compare using KPIs. Second, improving aspects of the environment by identifying existing deficiencies. Third, strengthen environmental performance to guarantee credibility and reputation. Fourth, identify potential risks to the environment and find ways to prevent those risks. And lastly, identify benchmarks for environmental remediation. Next is the organization's environmental strategic objectives. These are the specific environmental objectives that the organizations should implement. It comprises 6 aspects. The first aspect is compliance. These aspects highlight the responsibility of organizations to comply with applicable laws, voluntary agreements, like covenants, and generally accepted standards of behavior that are voluntarily upheld. The second aspect is pollution prevention. By optimizing resource use and preventing wastes, including emissions, with a focus on production and the seriously detrimental effects of wastes, in line with the company's financial goals, such as cost-cutting. The third aspect is eco-efficiency, which minimizes the use of resources and reduces the environmental effects of industrial processes, goods, and services while simultaneously increasing value. The fourth aspect is eco-innovation, which utilizes a product, service life cycle approach and implements radical environmental changes relevant to production, products, and services to achieve minimum environmental impacts. The fifth aspect is eco-ethics, which utilizes specific environmental normative values to direct organizational operations, such as zero pollution. The last one is sustainability, using environmental, social, and economic justice to guide organizational operations, example carrying capacity. The practices of these strategic objectives need the involvement of the different domains of organizations. There are 4 organizational domains. The first one is corporate, consisting of a board of directors, senior management, special staff, committees and councils. These domains comprise all activities and governance structures related to the corporation's decision-making process. The second is business, which involves all activities related to purchasing, delivering and marketing goods and services the organization needs or provides. The third is functional, such as employee orientation, auditing and reporting, environment and risk assessment, accounting, and internal communications. This domain comprises programs and procedures for managing the organization's economic, environmental and social performance. The last one is operational, which involves all physical aspects of activities such as operations, technologies and procedures. Now, let us refresh what we have learned with some quiz. The question is, what is the objective of environmental performance evaluation? You have 3 seconds to think. The answer is identify past and present environmental and be able to compare using KPI. That is all for part 1. Stay tuned, and let us watch a short video before we start the next agenda.
According to the International Standard Organization ISO 14031, Environmental Performance Evaluation (EPE) is a process to facilitate management decisions regarding an organization's environmental performance by selecting indicators, collecting and analyzing data, assessing information against environmental performance criteria, reporting, communicating, and periodically reviewing and improving this process. EPE is an useful auditing tool assessing whether environmental aspects, objectives, targets, and other environmental performance criteria are being met. Thus, evaluating environmental performance is an ongoing process that ensures any changes to an organization's activities, products, and services that might affect environmental performance are accounted for in its EMS over time.
Now, I would like to share how we can measure the environmental performance evaluation. Environmental performance evaluation can be measured using ISO standard, which is ISO 14031. The first step is to adopt the ISO 14031 method of evaluating environmental performance. The second step is develop meaningful environmental key performance indicator, KPI. The third step is evaluate the management performance indicator, operational performance indicator, and environmental condition indicator. Fourth step, analyze your data and avoid double counting these values. The last step is synthesis solution based on the data and use them to support the ISO 14001. In conclusion, the ISO 14031 provides instruction on internal and external reporting and communicating to support improvement. That's all from me. Thank you.
For the history of EPE ISO 14031, the first one is ISO 14031 was first introduced in 1996. Next is the system intended to meet the need of the organization when it comes to environmental management. In 2004, the system underwent revision for the first time. The last is in 2008, the system was agreed to be revised down. The latest ISO 14031 was published on 15 September 2015.
What are the latest version of ISO 14031? Okay, the latest version is ISO 14031, the 2031. This ISO specifies guidance for the development and implementation of environmental performance evaluation or EPE systems within organizations. It applies to all types, size, locations, and complexity of organization. These documents guidance can be used to support an organization's own approach to EPE, such as its commitments to legal and other requirements, pollution prevention, and continuous improvement, among other things.
What is ISO 14031 for? It is applicable to all organizations regardless of type, size, location, and complexity. This document does not establish environmental performance levels. It is not intended for use for the establishment of any other environmental management system, which is EMS, conformity requirements. It sets out a process to help an organization improve environmental performance. It provides a set of tools to identify, measure, assess, and communicate environmental performance using key performance indicators, which is KPI, based on reliable and verifiable information. ISO 14031 gives guidance on the design and use of environmental performance evaluation, which is EPE, within an organization.